We start with the name of Allah, all praise is due to Him, and we ask Allah Ta'ala to raise the rank of our Prophet Muhammad and to protect his nation from that which he fears for them.
One of the more recent examples of Satan's elites waging spiritual and psychological warfare against the American population is found in the movement known as Black Lives Matter. It will be remembered that the Masonic ritual sacrifice of violent criminal and pornographer George Floyd serves as BLM's patron saint. What most Americans don't realize is that not only are BLM's leadership admitted lesbian Marxists linked to Freemasonry, they too are practitioners of African voodoo. Patrice Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi, who is of Nigerian descent, are members of the Prince Hall Freemasonry-linked Bully Black Secret Society. The spiritual dogma of BLM is based on West Africa's consortium of over 3,000 witchcraft cults, known as Oju Ifa. BLM's Council of Witches, Cullors, Garza, and Tometi, are utilizing the African witchcraft religion of Oju Ifa, which focuses on 16 points of demonic possession and libation, also referred to as liquid darkness. Black Lives Matter is pouring libations out across America to venerate the progenitor of Africa, Canaan the vampire. The BLM plague spreads its demonology through its 16 chapters across America and Canada. Each of the BLM chapters represent a name of a demon within the African witchcraft cult of Oju Ifa. Every BLM chapter leader across the US and Canada are either a witch or warlock, and their principal objective is to wage spiritual warfare against the Christian West.
Spirituality is at the center of Black Lives Matter. And I think that's not just for us. I feel like so many leaders and so many organizers are deeply engaged in a pretty important spiritual practice. I don't think I could do this work without that. I feel like in our traditional practice, and people who practice traditions from West African places, one of the big is remembering your ancestors. And I feel like part of the story in the building of BLM was about remembering and remembering our people, not based off of a white supremacist memory, which would be about, slandering them and putting their names in the newspaper and showing their mugshots, but instead remembering them from the place that their mothers and their fathers and their family would want us to remember them in, even if we didn't know them personally.
We become very intimate with the spirits that we call on regularly, right? Like each of them seems to have a different presence and personality. I laugh a lot with Waukesha, and I didn't meet her in her body, right? I met her through this work.
It's a very important practice. Hashtags for us are way more than a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting a spirit so it can work through us to get the work that we need to get done. I started to feel personally connected and responsible and accountable to them, both from a deeply political place, but also from a deeply spiritual place. And always, in my tradition, you offer things that your loved one who passed away would want, whether it's like honey or tobacco, things like that. And it's so important, not just for us to be in direct relationship to our people who've passed, but also for them to know we've remembered them. I believe so many of them work through us.
Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 10 through 12 reads, "There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee."
Consequently, it is sinful to leave relying on Allah, and instead one would go to the sorcerers and the fortune tellers to seek benefit or to alleviate harm or even just to know about the future. A fortune teller, al-kahin, is a person who claims the ability to foresight the future, such as the ones who befriend some of the jinn and rely on their sayings, in which they spread and portray as the future. On the other hand, a arraf is a person who claims the ability to ascertain past events, such as knowing about stolen goods. Know that the one who goes to either a kahin or a arraf, believing that they know about the unforeseen al-ghayb, has belied Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, for none knows about the unforeseen except Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. In Surah An-Naml, Ayah 65 means, say, none in the heavens and earth knows the unforeseen except Allah.